Assalamualaikum, my name is FITRAH binti Muhammad FUZI. Today I will present about introduction of Samsung. Samsung is the country's largest manufacturer of electronic equipment. Samsung has become one of the most well-known names in South Korea export technology due to its comprehensive expertise in manufacturing. Lee Young-chul is the founder of the company. In this business began and located in Tengchu, with objective of the company is helping his country develop itself after the war. Samsung have effectively developed various production sectors as well as invested extensively in the country export. Samsung started career in the electronic sector with the old television as the first productions. Samsung data program founded to meet growing demand system development commercial world and quickly established as market leader as successful exporter. With success of accessing global market and implementing market embrace corporation culture marketing, top management with talented and expectations-oriented staff in installing sensitivity, first moving as well as company culture, the priorities, integrations and efficiency. Because of the expansion shown by the company in achieving the goal, the company also managed to attend and provide certifications to Korean customers. In fact, they managed to expand to the rest of the world, winning the needs of its customers, so that the company can strengthen positions today with its effectively strategic marketing in productions in various of sector. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is ARINA binti Muhammad Ali, and now I would like to talk about Samsung export strategies and practices. Goods and services that are manufactured in one country and sold to customer in another country is called exports. Exports are one of the components of international trade. Many multinational corporations, including Samsung, incorporated the export into their business operations. However, before export product and services, a company must first analyze and develop a strategic plan. Product identification, which includes a good understanding and detailed knowledge of the product to be exported, is crucial in any export business. There are two types of approach that can be carried out when identifying product to export, which are systematic approach and reactive approach. Therefore, Samsung employs a systematic approach when determining which products to export. Systematic approach is an approach that analyzes overall market demand. For instance, according to Samsung 2020 Business Report, due to increased competition among devices and producers, the market trend towards a large, high-resolution screen is rapidly increasing. This high demand prompted Samsung to release the world's first 8K TV in the global market in 2019. Its systematic approach has successfully secured Samsung's position as the premium segment leader in the TV industry. Next, when a business decides to export its product or services into international market, one must always conduct international market research. Samsung conducts market research using secondary sources, which are information obtained from other sources such as trade statistics or report for a country or a product. For instance, based on Samsung 2020 Business Report, Samsung obtained data on the smartphone market from a source on the internet. The data obtained by Samsung from Strategy Analytics stated that with the expansion of 5G, the smartphone market is expected to grow from 1.30 billion units in 2020 to 1.47 billion units in 2021. Therefore, Samsung is boosting their product competitiveness by introducing innovative features like 5G, quad cameras, large infinity displays, and high-capacity batteries, even to middle-range and below products, just to react and adapt to an ever-changing market as well as customer need. Then, developing product development strategy is important when export activity is involved. Product development strategy is based on creating new products or improve current products to appear new, and then market those products to existing or new markets. Such as before, Samsung did a market research on smartphone market, which leads them to discover that with the expansion of 5G, the smartphone market is expected to grow from 1.30 billion units in 2020 to 1.47 billion units in 2021. Therefore, Samsung had decided to react and adapt to an ever-changing market as well as customer needs by introducing innovative features like 5G, quad cameras, large infinity display, and high-capacity batteries in their smartphones. Furthermore, before exporting, businesses should also conduct a SWOT analysis. Samsung's strength includes strong market position, brand image, strong dominance in smartphone manufacturing, global availability of product, research and development, and innovative. Meanwhile, its weaknesses are relying heavily on American market, sales of smartphone are declining, and products failure. As for opportunities are new markets, diversification and acquisition, innovation, and 5G. Lastly, Samsung's threats are impact of COVID-19, government regulations, strong competitors, patent infringement controversies, and scandals. Moving to pattern analysis, the political environment in almost all of the markets where Samsung operates are mostly favorable to its operation. However, there are some minor trouble in countries such as India. Aside from that, Samsung is facing significant backlash in their own home country. The recent economic downturn caused low wages and unemployment, which affect customer purchasing power and also are two major issues that could limit Samsung product sales because majority of Samsung products are luxurious and not necessities. Moreover, Samsung as Korean multinational companies must tailor and adapt their product according to local conditions. Samsung has to adapt its product accordingly with the constant changing in consumer preferences in the markets in which they operate. Furthermore, technological factor is Samsung's biggest strength. Samsung constantly offers cutting-edge innovation in their products such as the Samsung Z Flip. However, despite having technological factors as a strength, Samsung faced with technological failures in 2017 when their Galaxy Note 7 exploded due to battery faulty. Samsung imitation of the iconic Apple product design has resulted in legal and regulatory criticism and difficulties for the company. As a result, Samsung faced with huge penalties. And lastly, due to many ethical consumers that are expecting their product to be manufactured in a socially and environmentally responsible manner, Samsung must adhere to the need of creating product that satisfies the ethical chic customer. Next, as everyone knows, exporting activities involve tons of documentation and is different from a country to another. Thus, an example will be taken to demonstrate how Samsung arranged for export. In this example, Samsung will be exporting its product to Malaysia. To export product to Malaysia, Samsung is required to prepare following documents. Next, ability to manage logistics in the import or export trade is vital since shipping rates and efficiency ascertain the transaction upper ability to compete. Samsung uses their own freight forwarding service to export their product. This matter will be explained more in detail in Samsung's logistic strategies and transportation mode segment. Last but not least, transaction and payment received is one of the crucial components in running business. This is because payment received will go into the company's profit. However, in today's global marketplace, there are so many competitors. Therefore, to win against the competitors, a business must always look into the different types of payment methods and offer its customer with attractive sales terms. As a successful multinational company, Samsung obviously offers the best payment methods for its customer, which is why its business is growing stably.
Greetings, I am Lee Xiang from 22A, and today I'm going to do a presentation on my part, which is the export documentation and steps. So the commercial invoice is used by numerous parties during the shipment and document that describes the business transaction between exporters and importers and is issued by the exporter for the payment by the importer. The important elements in a commercial invoice is such as the dates of billing and shipping, invoice number, conditions of the sale, price and quantity, payment terms, buyer and seller information, mode of transportation, transportation information, and a description of the items. A packing list is included and offers information on the cargo, packaging details, and the marks and numbers indicated on the outside of the boxes to Samsung. The freight forwarder may prepare the bills of lading for Samsung's shipment using the information on the packing list. The packing list lists the contents of the cargo as well as their net and gross weights and dimensions in both imperial and metric measurements. It recognizes any markings on the parcels as well as any additional instructions for assuring the item's safe delivery to their final destination. Custom officials in the importing country also will use a packing list to assess security and compliance. A bank may need a true packing list to be included in the set of documents Samsung submits in order to receive payment under a letter of credit. It is also required document to file a claim with the carrier or insurance provider in the event of cargo damage or loss. Samsung's goods come from the country specified on the certificate, commercial invoice, or packing list according to the certificate of origin. To show where the goods come from, certain countries require a certificate of origin, and these certificates are usually required to be signed by a semi-official organization, such as a Chamber of Commerce or a country's consulate office. The primary document on which the customs office grants export permission is the shipping bill. The shipping bill contains information about the Samsung products being exported together with the name of the vessel, the port where the goods are to be discharged, the country where they are able to be used, Samsung's name and address, and other details. The shipping bill is prepared by Samsung in order to secure custom clearance. A bill of lading is a crucial document that must be presented when an export transaction is completed. The shipping business provides it as a sign of acceptance of the goods that have been transferred into its vessel. Samsung, as the exporter of the goods, presents the receipt copy of the shipping company and issues the bill of lading. Samsung requires a number of bill of lading to accompany its export. To transport their goods to a port or airport, Samsung requires an inland bill of lading, and Samsung has a separate bill of lading for transferring products out of a country, which is filled out by Samsung's freight forwarder. An insurance certificate is used to reassure the consignee that the goods will be covered by insurance if it's lost or damaged during transit. Samsung is covered by certificates of insurance in the event that the items are damaged while in transit, and Samsung's freight forwarder arranges the insurance for the shipment. An airway bill is a document that travels with a cargo on an international airline, and for shipments of products by air, an airway bill is necessary, and a contract of carriage is distributed between the shipper and the carrier by the International Air Transport Association. The documentation provides all of the package details and allows for tracking. Every time goods are exported to a country outside the European Union (EU), an export declaration form must be presented at the port, and it includes information about the items being transferred. The customs officials use the exchange declaration form to manage exports. In a letter of credit, the issuing bank, which is the bank of the importer, promises to pay the beneficiary or the exporter upon receipt of certain documents that comply with the conditions. This promise is made on the behalf of the importer or buyer, and the issuing bank frequently employs intermediary banks to facilitate the transaction and pay the exporter.
I'm Hao Jiajun, and I will elaborate the Samsung logistics strategy and transportation modes. Samsung, as the largest manufacturer of electrical products, has produced consumer and industry electronics, including smartphones, television, laptops, and others. Therefore, the company requires a stable and functionally managed supply chain in order to operate efficiently on a global scale. Logistics is the management of how resources like raw material, information, and money are acquired to store like inventory and transfer to the destination like manufacturer or market throughout the supply chain. The purpose of logistics is to guarantee that the right product reaches the right place in the right quantity at the right time. Next, I will elaborate the factor of Samsung planning logistics strategy and transportation modes. The first factor is determining customer need and expectation. Customer need and expectation are that they want a high quality smartphone at a low price and a faster receive the product. After Samsung changed their transportation mode from ocean to rail, it has reduced the raw material delivery time by more than 50%. Reduce the cost and time for Samsung to produce their products such as smartphone and electronics. And Samsung SDS implement project in their supply chain system has reduced the cost by more than 20%. Next, the second factor is determining the cost that company can afford. Samsung operates plants in Vietnam, India, South Korea, Brazil, and Indonesia, among other nations, to save costs from expenses as import taxes. So it is better for Samsung to have a warehouse in the local market and directly provide the product to markets. Those warehouse locations also benefit to direct export smartphone built in India to Europe, Africa, and West Asia, as well as a smartphone built in Brazil to North America and Europe. Samsung also reduced the loss by shutting down factories in China that are unprofitable market because Samsung market share in China below 1%. Next, another factor is balance between improvement service and additional cost. Samsung can tailor its warehouse process to the requirement of client because after chain to rail transportation, container remain at the terminal for up to 2 weeks. Next, rail transportation also more stabilized due to its less effect by wear condition where compared to other transportation modes. Good packaging also is an additional service to ensure customer benefits. Maintaining high material quality and cleanliness requirements, it has avoided the risk of product damage and ensure the customer receives the product in good condition. Next, assessment of competitors' quality of service. Apple, as the Samsung competitor, they did not participate in third-party manufacturing. As a result, Apple might face external issues such as the insufficient supply of raw material, delivery delay, and the inability to guarantee the quality of smartphone materials. However, Samsung Electronics enhance its supply relationship approach, which result in the internalization of component assembly and process technologies. The last factor is regular evaluation on the physical distribution system. Samsung AZMI protection supplier based on a variety of factors including environment, health, safety, labor, human rights, and eco-partner status. After the first screening, the next phase consists of on-site expansion, quantification of regular compliances, verification of human rights practices, and evaluation of the supply competitiveness within the operating zones. Next, I will elaborate Samsung transportation modes. Air transportation does not require a specific surface train for its operation, and it has no physical barriers and political boundaries. However, they must comply with the standard of international law. Air transportation is the quicker way of transportation. However, its running costs are high and need to be considered mechanism breakdown and weather condition. Samsung SDS anticipates implementing blockchain technology in its supply chain network to manage 488,000 tons of air cargo like smartphone and 1,020,000 foods equivalent unit shipment. A blockchain system might enable the corporation to decrease the period between product enlargement and real shipment. Next, ocean transportation. Ocean transportation is suitable for long-distance and multimodal solution along with the international market because it is low cost and large sea vessel low capacity, and limited contract on the vessel carrying capacity will set costs from loss and damage. In the event of long-distance cargo transit, seafaring service permit much cheaper transportation costs. Containerized cargo transportation service increase the safety of carry items, expedite the transit of small specific cargo, and make loading and unloading simple. However, the company might need to spend a lot of cost on packaging from corrosion. And next is rail transportation. Rail travel is one of the quicker and cost-effective way of long and short-distance passenger and freight transportation on land. It can carry more weight and its reduced sensitivity to weather conditions. However, one of the most significant limitations of rail transit is its expensive to control and maintain. Samsung and Russia Railway cooperate on the Trans-Siberia Railway project in 2016, and it reduced the lead time for more than 50%. And last is road transportation. Compared with other transportation modes, the investment required for road transport is far lower, including building, operating, and maintenance costs. It enables door-to-door or shelf-to-door delivery of products and commodities. However, road transport has significant limitations, which is, for example, moving big items across long distance is complicated and expensive owing to the likelihood of accident and vehicle breakdowns.
My name is NURHAZIRAH binti YAHAYA. Next is containerizations and leasing practices of Samsung. The first point is containerizations of Samsung. Generally, containerization is an intermodal freight transportation method that uses intermodal containers, often known as shipping containers or ISO containers. At the same time, containerization also has become the newest buzzword in cloud computing. Therefore, Samsung is the sole Korean firm that produces electronic products. Samsung focuses in consumer and industry electronics, including appliances, digital media devices, semiconductors, memory chips, and integrated systems. Thus, this firm uses mobile containerization, which is known as Samsung KNOS, KNOS, that works by enclosing a safe operating environment within a smartphone app. The apps in the KNOS workplace are secured with AES 256 level encryptions and are protected by strong data at rest (DAT) safeguards. The activations and administrations of KNOS containers necessitated with the use of MDM platform. The second point is global trade and containerizations of Samsung. Containerized freight accounted for 56% of all dry cargo moved in 2010. Containerized freight is the fastest growing segment of maritime trade, expanding at an annual average pace of 8.2% over the previous 2 decades. Hence, in the last half-century, containerizations have benefited global trade more than all global trade agreements combined. Containerizations also opened the door to unprecedented international trade, more than any other trade agreement signed in the last half-century. Containerization have increased global trade. In addition, the corporate logistic planner for global trade, Samsung C&T Trading and Investment Group, Angelo Park, believed that the folding box will be transformational. For the time being, the shipping containers progress appears to be on track. Major shippers are already using smart technology in specific packagings. Containers are projected to improve global commerce and market integrations in already interconnected world with this enhanced capability. Now, we move to container leasing practices of Samsung. In terms of operational cost, leasing a container roughly 60% to 70% more expensive than owning one. Leasing companies possesses more than 40% of the world's container fleet. Despite this, there remains a substantial leasing market. In contrast, Samsung did not participate in container leasing practices because they use a mobile containerization system instead. Due to the mobile company's container leasing procedure, Samsung Electronics America Inc. is establishing a new CSI leasing program in 2018 to assist current and potential Samsung customers. Hence, containerization and leasing practices of Samsung benefits are the scalability, security, change management, configuration management, and productivity.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AININ Binti AZMI. Today I will explain what lessons are taken from the Samsung company. The lesson learned that we can take from Samsung is, although there are various challenges, especially in South Korea with increasingly fierce competition in the field of electronics, however, Samsung can prove with the great effort has made that Samsung, one of the most famous names in South Korea with export technology due to the extensive expertise in manufacturing various types of consumer and commercial electronics such as appliances, digital content device, memory chips, and embedded system. We can see in Chapter 2, it explains in detail about identification for export, exploring market opportunities, develop productive strategy, arranging for product export, select the best mode of transportation, and lastly is transaction and payment reserve, where Samsung will analyze and develop 6 steps to strategic export plan. Samsung also will identify products by covering a good understanding and detailed knowledge of service for sale to other countries. Furthermore, Samsung needs to provide complete document and submit to the customs of the country of origin such as license of certificate, transportation record, number, package or box, description, value, weight, quantity, product type, and declaration. Next, in Chapter 3, it also describes how Samsung manage export documentation and the steps made for the process of shipping goods or services to other countries for sale, where Samsung is very responsible and efficient in making export measure and documentation like preparing commercial invoice by stating important factors. Then Samsung creates a packing list, certification of origin, shipping bill by the custom office to grant export permission, prepare the bill of lading, create an waybill, exchange declaration form, and letter of credit. Next, in Chapter 4, the lesson we can take is about how Samsung manage their logistics strategy and mode of transportation, where Samsung has reduced the cost of shipping raw materials from some suppliers, changing the usual sea shipping method to land shipping. As a result, changes that have been made in the method of transportation, the delivery time of raw materials has been shortened by more than 50%. As we can see that Samsung is very smart and meticulous in planning their logistics strategy and shipping costs, which has determined that the company ability to grow more advanced in the future. Lastly, in Chapter 11, the lesson to be learned is about Samsung container leasing practice, where the method of transporting goods between modes uses intermodal containers, where before Samsung chose a container, Samsung had first considered the solid or liquid nature of the cargo, the size and weight of the cargo, the cranes and spreaders required for the cargo, and the degree of uniformity on the cargo. Thus, Samsung has launched a new CSI leasing program to serve current and potential Samsung customers. In conclusion, it shows that Samsung is a company with a great vision and mission in the digital industry. Since its inception in 1938, Samsung has thrived across a wide range of industry, making it one of the largest conglomerates in the world. While Samsung operates in a perfect competition environment, and Samsung closest competitors are Apple, Dell, Nokia, Lenovo, Toshiba, Lenovo, and LG. However, Samsung can increase profit and reduce costs. Samsung has also taken 6 steps to developing a strategic export plan, where product identification for export, exploring market opportunity, develop product depth strategy, arranging from product export, select the best mode of transportation, and lastly is transaction and payment reserve. Next, Samsung is also very efficient, reliable, and responsible in handling documentation and export steps. Moreover, Samsung is very careful in providing commercial invoices, then packing list, certification of origin, shipping bill of lading, airway bill, exchange declaration form, and lastly, letter of credit to facilitate send goods or service to another country for sale. Then, Samsung properly managed their logistics strategy and transportation modes. It improved their container leasing practice. Ultimately, Samsung's strengths are its large market share, affordable product, diverse store, and talented employees, and Samsung is in high demand and therefore generates huge profits. That's all from us. Thank you.